How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to some more Link to the Past. Today we're going to be going through the Eastern Palace, which is abbreviated as the East Palace for some reason. I don't know if that was because there wasn't enough text space or something, but whatever the case may be. Three rooms, or three little doorways, I guess, in this first area. Two of them lead to bottomless pits, or at least I presume they're bottomless. Never know in Zelda. And then we have a door in the middle. This is the door you want to go through. Lift that pot up, step on the switch, and then we have a new enemy in here, which kind of looks like moving spaghetti, except I don't think you want to move. I don't think you want to eat these guys. So, probably best to don't do that. And then we got this little terrifying boulder room. You can just tank all the hits if you'd really like to. I think that's kind of what I end up doing, because I'm not very good at the timing of these guys. But if you have enough hearts, just honestly, it's going to be faster to run through them. But you do what you want to do, you know? We have a little chest over here, which I believe is going to contain rupees, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 100 rupees. So, Zelda games, the necessity for rupees, it's kind of varying from game to game and whether or not you really need a ton, like for anything valuable. In this game, I would say rupees are fairly important if you want to get certain upgrades. Later on, there's a fountain that you can go to that will have the ability to increase your bomb capacity and your arrow capacity, so that is something that you want to do for sure. I'm going to include a little clip here of going to the right door, which is the way that you're supposed to go at first. So in case you're wondering why that's there, now you know. This room here is going to have 5 pots in it. The way to get the enemies to spawn is to lift this middle pot, and then from there you can just use the pot to kill the enemies if you'd like. It's a one-hit kill from the pot for some reason, which I don't know what these pots are made out of, but evidently it's something pretty tough. So go ahead and kill all these guys, and then we're going to be able to head up to the top room. And I like the little skeletons on the floor. I wonder if those were supposed to be other Stalfos that perhaps perished in here. I don't know, I'm really curious of dungeon history. I don't know if that's something that's included in the Hyrule Historia. Just, like, the reason why dungeons are there in the first place, like, what they were before there was, like... I don't know if they're all, like, cursed, or what exactly the deal is. But I'm just really fascinated by dungeon lore, if there ever is any. I know we don't really have too much in some of the early games, but I believe Ocarina of Time's Shadow Temple, I think that's supposed to be like some sort of torture dungeon or something. And then, I don't know, I think it has stuff to do with the royal family. I really want to know more about the dungeon, like, lore and whatnot. It doesn't seem like they too often give us very much information about what goes on and whatnot. So, maybe someday that can be something that's included somewhere. Or maybe there's some information I just don't know about. Either way, to open the big chest in this game, you actually need the big key, boss key, whatever you want to call it. And then there's going to be a dungeon item. And the dungeon items in this game are pretty cool. A lot of really fun ones, in my opinion. I do really like the collectability in this game. Like, there's not too much to collect, which I like. I'm not really a fan of collecting 900 Korok seeds in the newer games, which is a little excessive. But either way, in this first dungeon, there's not really too much to collect. A random chest here and there, but straightforward for the most part. I mean, you only have so many options. It's not like the Oracle games where you could get lost pretty easily. This one, it's... I don't know, I want to say this is a little bit more toned down compared to the Oracle games. I know they came out later, but I guess this was just to, maybe, not overwhelm players. Like, to me, this game, it seems, I want to say the dungeons seem easier than the ones in like the Oracle games. I don't know if that was just to like help beginners and whatnot. It seems like maybe that could have been the case, but either way, I really love this game. Probably my top 5 Zelda games. I do prefer the GBA version because I like Link having young Link's voice, so he's not just a mute when he slashes his sword. I know there's a few people that don't really like the addition of the voice, but personally I really enjoy it. It gives Link a bit more humanity, I suppose. And I like that they kept his little pink hair. That's always funny. I think the reason was that SNES couldn't, like there was limited... Actually, I don't know. It's something to do with limited data, as far as I know. That's all I should say. So the way to get all those little thingies to disperse is to kill all the enemies, and then they will. Lift up the pod, get the big key. I keep getting confused. Some games call it the boss key, some games call it the big key. I guess big key does make more sense, because it doesn't always necessarily lead to the boss, at least in this game. But it is what it is. Now we can actually access our first dungeon item, which is going to be the bow. Now, I think the bow has a higher damage multiplier than the sword. I will test this at some point in this video. I know that I kill one of the Stalfos with the bow, I think. I think that's this video. And then, I don't know if you can kill those floating head guys. Maybe you can kill them with the bow and arrows, but I like conserving a lot of my ammunition and whatnot, just for situations that you might really need it. They one-hit kill these Armos guys, which is really nice. Assuming you hit the eyeballs. There we go. I don't know if that spaghetti thing is doing. And then I think this is probably where the cut's gonna end up being of me getting the dungeon map. Somewhere around here. Just, I haven't edited the video yet, but I'll put it somewhere around here. It's just gonna be a little confuzzling. Actually, no, it'd probably make more sense to put the dungeon map at the start of the video, so, or like the midpoint of the video, I suppose. So that's what I'll do. And for some reason, you can't boomerang these rupees, which I find really weird, but I guess they're just really stuck to the ground, mayhaps? Either way, you can attempt to hit that guy with the powder, which I was attempting and failing to do multiple times, but... Alright, so the reason for that cut right there is just because I got the dungeon map, which would have happened earlier on this video now. So now we can head off to the boss. Now, the boss of this place, I originally thought he could only be killed by arrows, which... I guess it wouldn't really make much sense, because if you run out of arrows, there's no way to restock in that room, so... Fortunately, you can kill the boss with your sword as well. You just... I think the arrows kill him faster, so that's the primary way that you want to kill him. And we got 3 Armos in here. Or no, I don't think these guys are Armos. I don't know. And then this room always used to stump me when I was little, because I would always just partially step on the switches, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, like, fully stand on the switch. So, what's interesting about this dungeon is that you don't actually use the boss key, or big key, to get to the boss room. As you can see right here, all you have to do is kill this final enemy, which is unusual for a Zelda game. I mean, maybe not in the early games, but for Zelda games nowadays, except for Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, of course, you always use a boss key, so I find that interesting. So now we can face the first boss of this game, which, assuming you have like 4 hearts, you're good. You don't even need the 5th one, unless you're me. The way to kill him is just to shoot arrows at the copies. If you run out of arrows, do spin attacks or normal sword slashes, whichever you feel safer doing. Pretty easy to dodge overall. He doesn't go to the corners of the room very often, so you can always stand in the corners, and when you kill one of them, you'll be safe from this attack. Just standing where the empty spot is. But otherwise, it's not a very smart boss. I mean, I guess his brain power is split between all of them, which would explain why he doesn't really think too hard until he's down to the last guy. But I think there's something similar to this guy in Link's Awakening. There's something that has to be killed with the arrows, at least. Either way, I don't know, I was gonna say there. Fairly straightforward boss fight. It does get a little bit faster when his health goes down, though. But you can still dodge him pretty easily. And at this point, it's probably easier just to use your sword with how fast he's jumping around. There we go. First boss taken care of. And we got our first pendant. The Pendant of Courage. So, with that out of the way, I think I'm going to end the video off here. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.